Hello, welcome to an adventure. Today we explore the Virginia Tech Black Organizations Council records on episode 5 of Archival Adventures. I'm just going to check and make sure that you all can hear me before I go any further, otherwise I'll redo that first opening statement. Is it an archival adventure? Why yes, Archivist Kira, yes it is. Before we embark on our adventure, I do want to give a couple of acknowledgements. We acknowledge the Tutelo and Monacan people, who are the traditional custodians of the land on which we work and live, and recognize their continuing connection to the land, water, and air that Virginia Tech consumes. We pay respect to the Tutelo and Monacan nations and to their elders past, present, and emerging. We also acknowledge that Virginia Tech's Blacksburg campus was previously the site of the Smithfield Plantation. At any point from 1774 to 1865, the Preston family enslaved 40 to 100 African men, women, and children on this land. We pay respect to those souls and acknowledge that Virginia Tech is undeniably tied to this legacy. Further, we acknowledge that Virginia Tech's Blacksburg campus was previously the site of the Solitude Estate, which enslaved at least 30 African men, women, and children on this land. We acknowledge the contributions of the Fraction family and other enslaved persons in the creation and emergence of Virginia Tech as a major land-grant university, in accordance with the university's efforts to transform an historic location into a site for the interpretation of the African American experience on campus and in the region. Now, let's go ahead and begin today's adventure. Hi, Alice. Today, as I said, we are looking at the Virginia Tech Black Organizations Council records. I currently have, which boxes do I have? I have boxes 1, 2, 6, 7, and 8 from the collection. And if you're unfamiliar about how to figure out what's in those boxes, we'll start with the finding aid, and we'll look at the information there is about this collection. And then if at any time you want to see something specific that's in the boxes that I currently have with me, you can mention that in chat and I will pull those out so that we can look at them. So first I'm going to switch us over to the view where I can show you my website that I am looking at. Which is called Screen Share, this one. So you all should be able to see the Virginia Heritage website. There is a document focus window at the top there that I'm gonna see if I can just remove because I don't need it right now. But at the same time, I don't know which input it is. So instead, I'll pull out the first folder of the collection so that there's something in that little window. Hi, Hannah. Welcome. So yes, Virginia Heritage, this is the website where our finding aids are. If you're not familiar with archives, finding aids are the description that the archivist writes about a collection to help you find what is in it. So on here, I'm going to go ahead and go to Advanced Search, and I'm going to select from the drop-down here Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University, which is the full long name of Virginia Tech. And I'm going to go ahead and search for Black Organizations Council. And at the moment, there's some duplication of records in this system. These first two are the same record. But this is the finding aid for the Black Organizations Council. Let me see. There it is. Zoomed in, it's messing with the formatting a little bit. So this is a guide to the records of the Virginia Tech Black Organizations Council, 1982 to 2017. The dates there in the title are the date range that the collection covers. And you'll see our reference number for it is RG826E, which is an internal reference for us. It doesn't really mean much for anybody from the outside coming in. You can see here that the collection was processed by L.T. Wilkerson, who was a student assistant, and by me. I am Anthony Wright de Hernandez, the Community Collections Archivist here at Special Collections and University Archives. So you get some basic statistics about the collection here. It's the records of the Virginia Tech Black Organizations Council, 5.7 cubic feet, a total of 11 boxes, and 3 oversized folders. As I said, today I just have boxes 1, 2, 6, 7, and 8 with me, and I will explain why those are what I pulled in a minute. And then there's an abstract. I'm actually going to delete the query from the web address so that we get rid of those highlighted words. Same page without the little query. Oops, I went a little further than we were. We can actually throw this into the chat. Kira or Alice, if you wouldn't mind dropping a link to the finding aid in the chat, that would be lovely. So that viewers out there, you can visit the finding aid and see what is listed as being in the boxes. The Black Organizations Council was founded on the Virginia Tech campus in 1985 and is the umbrella and resource body for the Black student organizations. According to the organization, BOC serves to ensure the betterment of the Black community through providing a unified voice for the Black community in a university population where the Black community lacks adequate representation. The collection includes documents, photos, VHS tapes, and posters. So I don't presently have a way to share a VHS tape on screen, so the boxes containing VHS tapes were not brought up here with me today. And the document camera that we have is not, it doesn't have a wide enough view for me to be able to share the posters, so I also did not bring those. So that's why I only have boxes 1, 2, 6, 7, and 8 with me. You get a little bit of administrative history here about the Black Organizations Council, the beginning of which is the same as the beginning of that abstract that I read. But it also continues, BOC also serves as a liaison between the administration, university organizations, and the Black community, provides a forum for the exchange of ideas and dissemination of information, promotes the Black organizations individually and collectively, coordinates events which require the participation of all entities of the Black community, and supports the development of campus camaraderie within the university community. BOC has a mission of being the governing, representing, and coordinating body for the primarily African American student organizations. They also provide activism and advocacy while meeting the challenge of the social and political forces affecting the Black community. They encourage each representative organization to empower themselves to create a paradigm in the area of leadership and service in the community. And so that was actually pulled from the organization's website to include as background for the finding aid. And then you'll see here it's arranged into multiple series. Series 1 is operational records, including administrative files, meeting agendas, financial records. There are photographs in Series 1. Series 2 is stuff about member organizations, and it has one sub-series, the Black Graduate Student Organization. Series 3 is other campus organizations, so their records included stuff about the Jewish Student Union, the Student Budget Board, the Asian American Student Union, and other campus organizations that did not fall under their umbrella. And then Series 4 is events, and there are quite a number of sub-series under the events area, some of which we have material for here today, some of which we do not, because like the African Awareness Weekend, sub-series 1, all we have are VHS tapes. And like I said, I don't have a way to show those today. Series 5 is presentations and resources, and Series 6 is the Black Cultural Center and Multicultural Center. So if you go a little bit below that, you'll actually see a list of the boxes and folders. So under sub-series 1 here, you can see here, box 1, folder 1, Constitution. Box 1, Folder 2, Member Organizations Information. So if you're looking through this list and you see something that is in Box 1, 2, 6, 7, or 8 that you would like me to share on stream, pop that in the chat and I will prioritize making sure that we share that. Otherwise, I'm going to pull things essentially at random and we'll look at them together and see what we come across. I am partly familiar with this. It's been a little while since I dove into these records, but I was involved in organizing the records themselves, so I am more familiar with this than with the other collections that I've shared on stream. But I'm going to switch us over to the document focus view, and since it is the first folder, I don't think it'll be the most exciting folder, but since it is the first folder and I pulled it out just to have something in that little window, we will go ahead and start with the Operational Records Administrative Files Constitution for this organization. I do want to say welcome and thank you for being here to everyone who's here, whether you chat or not. It is lovely to have you stop by, and I hope that you enjoy our adventure as we explore the records from the Black Organizations Council here today. So, we'll start here. This is one that I'm probably going to have to zoom in on for you because the typeset, even in person, it's a little bit difficult to read. Let me see if there's a better... This one appears to be the same document. Fall of 88, April 84, Fall of 88. Yeah, we'll take a look at the April 84 one to start. But I will have to zoom in so that you can have a chance of reading it along with me here. Because this copy has lost some of the definition in the letters. Also, I have the captions turned on. Do let me know if they are not working, and I will attempt to correct that. All right, I think that should do it. As you see here, there's actually a staple in this because while we do like to process and remove things like that, getting things processed and available for people to use is also a priority. And balancing those out can be difficult sometimes. So we have not had a full run through of this collection to make sure that all the staples were removed. This staple is a bit rusty. Eventually it will damage the paper, and so we'll need to go back through at some point and collect staples and paper clips and other things like that that could damage the materials over time. But here we have the bylaws of the Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University Black Organizations Council from April 1984. I'll go ahead and I will read at least part of this. At least the preamble should give us a good start. We, as organizations of Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University, who are concerned with the growth of unity among all people, feel a need for a university organization to unite organizations who are similarly inclined. The purpose of this organization shall be to promote the unity, correspondence, and general interest of the Black society at this university. The name of this organization shall be the Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University Black Organizations Council. And then in Article 2, they actually list the objectives of the organization. To petition the common interests of the Black society to the university administration. To serve as a liaison between the administration, campus organizations, and BOC when issues may arise. To provide a forum for the exchange of ideas and dissemination of information. To provide the Black organizations individually and to promote the Black organizations individually and collectively. And finally, to support the development of campus camaraderie within the university community. And then it gives some information based on, or about membership and participation. And it says that it will be free from discrimination on the basis of sex, race, religion, ethnic group, or national origin. So again, this was 1984, and I think, I haven't looked at their current bylaws, but I would be surprised if they don't include everything that's in the Virginia Tech Principles of Community in there, as far as groups that will not be excluded. It looks like in section 2 they actually say all student and faculty organizations showing appropriate interest will be granted membership. That's interesting. I did not know faculty organizations were also part of the Black Organizations Council. And then they list who their officers are going to be. So it's a pretty standard like bylaws document for a university student-led organization. There's Article 5 here is about meetings. Article 6 is about who their executive board will be. Article 7 defines the types of committees that they're going to have. And then in Article 8, they say that they will adhere to Robert's Rules of Order newly revised. So that is 1984, what the Black Organizations Council said that they would want to do. And we also have bylaws as updated going into effect fall 1988. I'm not going to dig through them to find specific changes, but I have a couple of copies of the fall 1988 ones. They look very similar. The layout is the same, even the typesetting is the same, if a little bit better ribbon was used in the typewriter. Then we have the revision of them in January of 2009, where they have significantly reduced the length of the name. If you recall, in 1984, the name of the organization was Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University Black Organizations Council. Sorry, they haven't reduced the length. They've just swapped it, so they now, in 2009, they are the Black Organizations Council of Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University. They have 6 objectives now instead of 5. There's still a liaison, which used to be Objective 2. Forum for exchange of ideas is new. Nope, that was number 3 before. Promote Black organizations individually and collectively was number 4 in 1984 and is now number 3. Promote and protect the interests of the members of the Black community who are not members of the Black organizations that shall be represented by the Black Organizations Council. That one is new. So BOC is stating that one of their objectives here is to, how did they say it? Protect the interests of the Black community at Virginia Tech, regardless of whether the members of that community are part of a Black organization here at Tech. Coordinate and oversee the events which require the participations of all the Black organizations. That one is also new. It was not in there in 1984. And support the development of campus camaraderie within the university community, which was the last one in 1984 as well. So a slight change in focus with those new objectives, but pretty much still in line with what they were originally founded to do in 1984. I do like that they've now added something explicitly to say that they want to promote the Black community generally on campus. That's an interesting change, and it seems in line with what I'm familiar with for the organization. Just looking to see, There are multiple copies of some of these in here. Generally, we try to only keep maybe 2, at most 3 copies of something if we get lots of copies. And if they're indeed completely identical, we generally will get rid of duplicates in processing a collection. I think the reason why we have so many copies in here is that some of them have writing on them, and that writing is not identical on all of them. So on the off chance that somebody would want those handwritten notes, we've kept all of the copies that have handwritten notes on them. So, let's see what else is here in box 1. I'm not going to drop the box on the floor. That would be bad. That would give me a bad day. Member organizations information. Pamphlets. I don't know what's in the pamphlets. Ooh, we can look at that. That'll be a good one. Administrative information, administrative binder, policies and guidelines, calendars and schedules, election paperwork, sign-in sheets, redacted. Meeting agendas and minutes. We might look at a couple of those. It says student organization. We can see what they were doing. I don't know what the dates are like on that. Campus Programming Committee, meetings with the president of the university, budget stuff, accounting stuff. We don't need to look at the accounting stuff. It might be interesting for somebody who was researching like student organization budgetary procedures or something like that. We have years of student organization accounting records. Ooh, another one that's labeled pamphlets. We'll pull that one too. Anyway, if anybody has any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. Again, if you're interested in looking at a specific folder or specific item listed in the finding aid, do let me know. We'll pull out this. Looking to see what sounds appealing. There's no way I will get to all of those folders, but the entire back half of the box looks interesting. Let's start with these first, and then we will see how far we get. So this one was labeled pamphlets. And it's literally 2 copies of the same pamphlet, both in blue. Like I said, we likely had more than 2 copies and just kept 2 because we didn't have space to keep absolutely everything. And if they're identical, then we would have gotten rid of duplicates. Black Organizations Council, then the logo here in the middle where it reads many who stand as one, and then the address in the Student Center along with contact information for them. I don't see a date other than that the officers listed are 2002 to 2003, so it's sometime after that. May have actually been during 2002 and 2003 when this pamphlet was made. So we have it's an informational pamphlet. We have the history of the organization, founded in 1985. It's the umbrella organization. So the 1984 bylaws that we were just looking at were the very first bylaws, since they state that they were founded in 1985. There's a vision. Black Organizations Council is the premier organization recognized as the representative voice for the African American community on the Virginia Tech campus. We encourage each representative organization to empower themselves to create paradigm in the area of leadership and service in the community. And then the mission. BOC has a mission of being the governing, representing, and coordinating body of the primarily African American organizations. We will also provide activism and advocacy while meeting the challenge of political forces affecting the African American community. Then membership, and here you see that they've added sexual orientation into the list of groups that they will not discriminate based on. And they're now saying in the early 2000s, it is for undergraduate and graduate organizations. If you recall, 1984, they included faculty organizations as well. Meetings are held fall and spring semesters every first Wednesday of each month, at least at that time. Yearly events that they held, Black Student Showcase, the fall dawning of the Kente ceremony, Black History Month finale, town hall meeting, and the spring dawning of the Kente ceremony. And then they, as we saw before, they list the officers. And then there's information about who can be an officer. So officers, we've got Myron McLeese was the chair in 2002-2003. Kwaku Kankman Jr. was vice chair. Kenaya Robinson was treasurer. Alistia Walker was secretary, and Brian Davis was parliamentarian. Robert Farmer Jr. was the male member at large, and Nakara Neely was the female member at large. And they had an advisor and a graduate advisor, Kimberly Philpott and Alan Bagby. And the member organizations are listed on the back here. In 2002-2003, they had the Bach Executive Board, the African Student Association, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Black Business Council, Black Graduate Student Organization, Black Student Alliance, Caribbean Students Association, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Enlightened Gospel Choir, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Manners, which I now have to remember what Manners stands for. It is Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences. That is what Manners stands for. It's actually MANRRS for the organization, but it's understandable not knowing which letter gets duplicated. The NAACP, National Society of Black Engineers, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, and Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. So that is the first pamphlet we'll look at. We do have another folder here labeled pamphlets, which is under one of the member organizations. So in one of the subcategories, this is pamphlets under the Black Graduate Student Organization. And we have, it looks like we have the design sheets here. So this is teeny tiny little printouts of these pamphlets. Let's see. I don't think I have exactly that anywhere else, so I will zoom in so that we can see both sides of it. But they are very small. It's like a wallet card. Whoop. I did it again. Little bit too close. Okay. Let me see if I can adjust the focus. Autofocus. There. Black Graduate Student Organization, BGSO, at Virginia Tech, lifting as we climb. Whew, I can barely read it. It's very small. Interested in our organization? BGSO is a nonprofit. Nope, can't read it off the screen. It is very tiny. BGSO is a nonprofit pre-professional networking organization for Black graduate students at Virginia Tech. Our mission is to build a community with shared core values of fellowship, scholarship, community service, and unity among the African diaspora. The purpose of BGSO is to sponsor programs and activities that enhance and promote professional and social development, develop mentoring relationships between undergraduate students, graduate students, and Black faculty, and create a sense of community for African Americans at Virginia Tech. And then please contact BGSO with questions or concerns, along with some contact information. And then on the back, they really packed it in on this, is a list of events. So in August, they had Welcome Back Cookout. In September, they had How to Be Successful in Graduate School. In October, they had the Halloween Social. In November, the General Body Meeting. In December, they had a study session, which would have been around exam time. In January, they had a potential ski trip listed. As they had general body meetings every month there. February, fostering successful relationships in graduate school, along with the social event, the Ebony Affair, which I think I have some material from. In March, they had the Black Alumni Weekend participation. In April, a dissertation and thesis practice. And in May, the graduate celebration. So it's a nice calendar full of events designed to really help graduate students be successful. We also have a flyer. For some reason, I just always assume that the camera's going to be zoomed to the level that I need it at, and I always forget that I need to change the zoom when I'm putting a new document in. Anyway, a flyer. With their mission, core goals, mission statement. This looks like it's 2006, 2007. There's a photograph of the officers in here, some fall activities and spring activities, membership information card, and some information on the executive board on the back. So they had the Welcome Back Cookout still, they had the general body meetings happening, intramural football, Black Alumni Breakfast, potluck dinners, Ebony Affair, and the end of the year cookout. And then I think this is also 2006, 2007, a different flyer for the GSA. Sorry, this is just the GSA, the Graduate Student Association, where the other one is specifically the Black Graduate Student Association. I want to see more. Let's see what else we have. I did pull general body meeting agendas and minutes, which may not seem like the most exciting thing and may indeed end up not being terribly exciting, but I think it's worth looking because sometimes you find really interesting things in old body meetings minutes. So here, handwritten meeting minutes on a piece of paper. It appears to be one that would have been like one of those notepads that you could flip up the pages and are perforated at the top so you tear it out. It seems like this was torn out at the perforated edge along the top. It's just ruled paper. I zoomed in slightly further than I should have. Here we have meeting minutes or meeting notes from January 28th of uncertain which year. I would assume probably 1988, since they are talking about the 1988-1989 offices. The notes are very simple. It just lists a list of offices and who is going to fill them. President Rick Dudek, Vice President Interior John Dole, Vice President Exterior Dave Capwell, Secretary Chris Tully, Treasurer Clay Garst, Rush Chairman Chris Groen, IFC Social Chairman Matt Simzak. But then in March of 1988, we have typewritten minutes for the Black Organizations Council. So I'm not even sure that those minutes that we were looking at before were specifically BOC, because they list a Rush Chairman. So and it mentions IFC. So I'm wondering if those minutes are actually from the Intrafraternal Council. But here we have the meetings for the Black Organizations Council, March 28th, 1988. At 6 p.m. they met. Present they had Alpha Kappa Alpha, Alpha Phi Alpha, Delta Sigma Theta, Kappa Alpha Psi, NSBE, which is the National Society of Black Engineers, Omega Psi Phi, Phi Beta Sigma, and Zeta Phi Beta. So they had the big 8, I think it is, big 8, the Black Greek organizations. Absent, they were missing the African Student Association Gospel Experience and the NAACP. So they had the chair's report, they approved the CSA minutes, Council on Student Affairs, minutes of March 10th, 1988, moved to file Student Budget Board minutes, voted on Board of Visitors finalists, voted yes on the Student Legal Service proposed policy statement regarding types of cases to be represented in court by the Student Legal Services attorney. I don't know what that's about, but that would be a very interesting thing to investigate and research more if I was interested in the rights of students, like if I was doing research on the rights of students legally with regard to their status at a university or something like that. Apparently there was something up for review in March of 1988 that the Black Organizations Council was having a say in. And so that could be a really interesting aspect of research to endeavor to go on an adventure and look into. Abstained on the resolution Commission on Student Affairs 1987-88E concerning fraternity and sorority semester rush. Voted no on another Commission on Student Affairs resolution concerning student representation to University Council. Sherry Likes wanted feedback to take back to the next Student Advisory Committee. Calendars are ready. Paula Waddell is willing to take the initiative to organize and plan a Greek picnic. And then the budget board. And then they had some speakers. They had the athletic director, who at the time was David Brain, and the assistant athletic director, Tom Fletcher. And then they had some announcements. It looks like Walter Lundy gave a bunch of announcements. Black Organizations Council, next meeting, budget board nominations, elections, and then they adjourned. So a tiny glimpse into the bureaucratic life of a student organization in 1988. Let's see if there's anything else that pops out at me here. I'm just gonna look through some of these minutes, see if anything pops. If not, we'll move on to something else because there's a lot of stuff in here and we don't need to bog ourselves down in lots of minutes. This one has handwritten notes on it. I don't know what meeting it's from. It was in with the minutes, so that's why it's in this folder. We didn't specifically pull things out. It was filed with the minutes in the file folder that they gave us, so we kept it with the minutes, even though we don't have any other context for it. But it being filed with the minutes means someone, at some point, put it with the minutes. Things to remember. Service project suggestions due at the February 13 meeting. Next Cosby night will be February 16 at 8000 F Foxridge. Items due at the February 27 minute. Name of a judge. Tentative commitment to STEP with final commitment due at next meeting. And drawing for practice, seating, and performance. And then there's little handwritten things. Somebody has put DJR and JTC inside of a heart over here with 4 other hearts. I don't know if I don't know who those refer to. I don't know any more about it other than somebody at this meeting was feeling kindly towards another person. You had until 5 Sunday. You should have waited. Let's see. The snow was gone Sunday. There should be no concern for your patrons' safety. How was I to know the snow would melt by Sunday? I had to let the caterer know well in advance. So it looks to me like somebody was having a conversation in the meeting by writing and passing it, and somebody was responding. There are 2 different handwritings, 2 different pens. Apparently there was something going on that was supposed to happen on Sunday that was postponed due to snow, and then the snow went away. Interesting little glimpse into a conversation or happening at a meeting like that. A lot of minutes here from 88-89. I want to see, there's a couple more like handwritten pages here. Yeah, Blacksburg weather can be like that. In fact, just last weekend we got a few inches of snow here, and the next day it was like 50 degrees and it all melted away. But right now it's getting ready to drop a bunch of freezing rain on us over the next couple days, and sleet. Here's one. Much less formal than a lot of them are typed minutes. This is not typed. We have a Post-it note on here that says, BOC meeting March 14. BOC March 14, Commission on Student Affairs minutes available. No support for freshman pledge. College of Arts and Science, SGA senators, any? March 4th or May 4th play, auditions Sunday and Monday. Junior and senior ladies home international merchandise budget board. Workshop for new presidents, running acquisition, relaxed situation for leaders, upward bound, March 1988. Joe Harding, Office 5, Draper Annex. So these are again 1988. There's a flyer here for Open Forum. Don't miss it. Black faculty, staff, student, forum, and reception. This is your chance to meet other faculty, staff, and students, discuss your concerns, and share your recommendations for providing a more supportive environment at Virginia Tech. The forum will examine academic, social, and professional support systems for Black faculty, staff, and students. Come prepared to meet, greet, discuss, and become involved in solutions to improving the environment at Virginia Tech. Reception to follow. It's on a little like cardstock paper. You keep seeing my rings? Yeah, they are. This one is rainbow. But yeah, I quite like them. I got them from a jeweler that actually has a license for like elven jewelry, or for like Lord of the Rings jewelry, as well as some other things like the Mistborn series. They created jewelry for that. They, yeah, it's they're Badali jewelry, Badali. You should be able to find them with a Google search. They're based out of Utah. The Blacksburg alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is sponsoring a Careers in the Non-Traditional Sciences program for junior high school and high school students. The purpose of this program is to introduce students to careers and courses of study in agriculture, veterinary medicine, human resources, mathematics, and the biological sciences. Students will also participate in a career evaluation activity at the Virginia Tech Counselor Education Laboratory. So some career planning stuff. We've got a calendar here. GE. I know we mentioned it before. I've already lost the name. It's one of the organizations that's part of the Black Organizations Council in the 80s. What was it? Gospel Experience. That's it. GE rehearsal, GE Bible study, some various fraternity events going on. It's a lot of stuff for a student to do, managing student organizations in this way and being part of this overseeing body. That's a lot of like managerial, organizational type experience. Just keeping track of this calendar had to have been a significant commitment of extra time for the officers. Joint meeting, Black Organizations Council presidents, and faculty advisors. On Wednesday evening, February 3rd, 1988, Bernadette Jones, faculty advisor to the Black Organizations Council, met with the presidents or representatives of Black Organizations Council and the faculty advisors for these organizations. The ultimate purpose of the meeting was to try and weed through the difficulties and lack of progress that Black Organizations Council has succumbed to over the last few years as well as this year. Those in attendance were asked to discuss the future of Black Organizations Council. Where is BOC going? A good, honest rap session resulted. For the next 2.5 hours. Students talked about the following issues. The organizations don't work cooperatively together. Organizations just don't bother to speak up, and if there is a disagreement, they just don't bother to participate. BOC doesn't really represent all Black students, but what is the alternative? It was brought up that the chairperson of BOC did attempt to introduce some resolutions that would increase representation on BOC, but was met with heavy opposition. They were withdrawn. Another student expressed disappointment in the manner in which meetings are held. She felt that they have no structure, no order, members are lackadaisical, there is no concept of parliamentary procedure, and seldom are there minutes to approve or disapprove. One student felt that rather than organizations having dances every Friday night, why not have rap sessions to work through some of the concerns of students? Other students responded, saying that for most organizations, this is their main way of generating funds. They do not use budget board funds. A freshman, who seems to show potential for future leadership, noted that he has always heard the undertones of there being a problem, but no one has ever stated what the problem really is. He has walked around very confused for 2 quarters because he doesn't understand what students are fighting. No one seems to know, just that they are fighting some problem. Pardon me, getting a little water there. Yeah, so it looks like this was 1988, so if they were founded in 1985, still a relatively young organization, having some difficulties with ensuring that they had the level of authority that they needed in order to oversee the other organizations. The organization is still around today and is a fairly strong one, and as we noted in the minutes, as we noted in the bylaws, by 2002, those bylaws included responsibility for overseeing and promoting the Black community generally on campus, which is some of the things that they were complaining about as being problems at that meeting in 1988 that document was just talking about. So it seems like something eventually came of that. But like I said, I don't want to get too bogged down in minutes. Again, if anybody wants to look at the finding aid and they see something that they'd particularly like to see in this collection, do let me know in the chat, and I'd be happy to pull it out and look at it. We'll get to photographs here in just a few minutes, since we are about halfway through the stream, and I do want to make sure that we look at some of the photographs. I'm going to skip this folder. This folder's not bad, but there were a couple of folders back here that I do want to get to. Like Ebony Affair. Yeah. So the Ebony Affair is a formal that is put on, one second. I am slightly disorganized because doing this on stream, there's a lot to keep track of. Ebony Affair is a formal that's put on by the Black Graduate Student Organization and the African Student Association. So here is a small little like table card advertising it. Third annual Ebony Affair. This appears to just be like a photocopy that's on some cardstock. It's a little difficult to read. The Millennium, an Evolution of Culture, February 26, 2000. 6:30 p.m. to 1 a.m., Owens Banquet Hall, $15 single and $25 per couple. I don't know what the 200 on the back is for. Here we have a program from the Black Graduate Student Organization and the African Student Association present the second annual Ebony Affair. Let's see if I can adjust things. There. That's better. I have guides on here, but they were making things a little slanted. Anyway, the second annual Ebony Affair, A Fusion of Culture, February 27th, 1999, Owens Banquet Hall. And it looks like they do honorees at the Ebony Affair. Congratulations to tonight's honorees. So they had the College of Arts and Sciences Diversity Awards, where they honored Dr. Ann Kilkelly, Associate Professor of Women's Studies, Dr. Gary Long, Associate Professor of Chemistry, and someone has handwritten in Diversity Research Grant. And then the African Student Association would like to recognize Hala Ahmed, Leslie J. Glover II, Mavis Sirwa, Elvis Wamey, and the Black Graduate Student Organization would like to recognize Janelle Augustus, Tiffany Gale Chenol, Dr. Randolph Grayson, Edward J. McPherson, Dr. Nicola Parker, Dr. Glenda Scales, and Dr. Wayne Scales. So they had a welcome by Markia King and Samuel Surafel, Mistress and Master of Ceremonies, followed by dinner and music, an awards ceremony, closing remarks and thanks, and a dance. Catering was from Personal Touch Catering, which is like the campus caterers here. DJ Robert Lance, DJ Pooh. Handwritten note just pointing to a $sign and saying, do not use the same person. Sponsors, African Students Association, Need to, written in Black Caucus, College of Arts and Sciences, Myra Gordon, Credit Union of Virginia Tech, which I don't think exists anymore because I've never heard of it and I've been here for a few years. Dean of Students, Diversity, Recruitment and Retention, Minority Academic Opportunities, Mrs. Yvonne J. Moy, NAACP, and thanks to everyone on the Ebony Affair Planning Committee. We've got the program here from the 4th Annual Ebony Affair, which is a much bigger program. It's like a full-on book, 8.5 by 11 booklet. Cultural fashion show, cultural exposition, dinner, awards ceremony, jazz prelude. Looks like they sold advertisements in this program. This is 2000-2001 when they had the 4th annual one. Pardon me. Here we have a glossy flyer. It's not photo paper, but it is glossy. Black Graduate Student Organization presents the Ebony Affair, a semi-annual event. Ujima, a celebration of community. Friday, February 22nd, 2008, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., Holiday Inn, University, Blacksburg. Holiday Inn, University, Blacksburg. $30 to get in. Got a few more from that one. We've got a flyer here from the 12th Annual Ebony Affair, which has some really beautiful design on it. The Black Graduate Organization at Virginia Tech presents the 12th Annual Ebony Affair, a semi-formal event. Lyrics and Liberation, a soundtrack for Black citizenship. Friday, February 20th, 2009 at 8 p.m. It's $20 for this one, for admission. And from the 11th Annual Ebony Affair, we have these cards. They're like white cardstock attached to red construction paper. I think these might have been like table cards or something. I'm not 100% certain. But Ebony Affair guests, New River Valley Black History, 1970s. First Black students receive advanced degrees. Camilla Anita Brooks, Master of Science in Statistics, 1970. Franklin McKee, Master of Science in Statistics, 1970. Dr. Alfonso Smith, PhD, Fisheries and Wildlife, 1971. New River Valley Black History, 1969. Overton Johnson became the first Black academic faculty member at Tech. He was hired to teach in the College of Agriculture. Black Greeks at Tech honor him with the Overton R. Johnson Step Dance Show every year, which the Overton Johnson Step Show has not happened for a few years here, but I did hear just before the campus went into lockdown last year, I know there was discussion about bringing it back, which would be a great thing. Seeing the step show come back would be really good. NRV Black History 1950s, Blacksburg Presbyterian Church was desegregated. So these are definitely like table cards, like letting people know which table they're supposed to sit at ostensibly at the dinner at the event. This is the Black History Month Steering Committee, Multicultural Programs and Services, but they all have these little like Black History at Tech facts on them, which I think is really neat. Oh, you know, that might be a little better. The light on the camera wasn't on. New River Valley Black History 1970. James Whitehurst is the first Black appointed to the Virginia Tech Board of Visitors. He was also one of the first Black students allowed to live on campus. New River Valley Black History 2006, the former Dumas Hotel, the social hub for Black Roanoke in the days of segregation, was reopened as the Dumas Center for Artistic and Cultural Development. New River Black History, the Harrison Museum of New River Valley Black History, the Harrison Museum of African American Culture in Roanoke, Virginia, is located on the ground floor of Harrison School, the first public high school built in 1916 for African American students. New River Valley Black History 2004. Dr. Tracy Lewis is the first Black professor in the Department of Information Technology at Radford University. So both Virginia Tech and Radford are in the New River Valley. Virginia Tech is in Blacksburg, Virginia, and Radford University is in Radford, Virginia, some like 6 miles away or something. At one point in time, Radford was the women's college of Virginia Tech. Originally, they were separate institutions. The state of Virginia consolidated public institutions, and Virginia Tech absorbed Radford as its women's college. And then later, Radford had continued to grow enough that they broke off and became their own university again. I believe we have some material on that, and so I will probably pull that and highlight that story in another broadcast sometime in the future. But yeah, so Radford University there. This is New River Valley history, not technically just Virginia Tech history, so that's why they're including information about Radford on there. New River Valley Black History 1992. Black Business Council was founded by James Walter Price with the assistance of faculty advisor and tech alumnus Mark M. Whitaker. New River Valley Black History 1961. Black High School... New River Valley Black History 1961. Blacksburg High School integrated by Philip Harmon Price and Anna Christine Price. New River Valley Black History 1895. Booker T. Washington once resided and served as superintendent of the Christiansburg Industrial Institute, which I have had one of the board of directors of the current Christiansburg Industrial Institute Incorporated ask me if I would highlight their materials on this stream. I said that I would be happy to do so, but I do want to talk to them a little bit more first to make sure that I am sharing the material that they want me to share, because they own the originals and we just have copies here to make it available. So before I go sharing their material, I do want to have a conversation with them and make sure that I'm sharing what they would like me to share and that I have the proper information to direct people to their organization's site for more information or to support their projects. So that stream will take a little bit more preparation. I can't just grab a collection and bring it up and share wonderful things. I need to actually know information about their nonprofit organization and things like that I can share with the viewers. New River Valley Black History 1975. Michelle Clark was the first Black placement counselor in the Division of Student Affairs. New River Valley Black History 1958. Charlie L. Yates was the first Black graduate receiving a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. Dr. Yates served on the Faculty of Tech for 4 years in the Department of Mechanical Engineering from 1979 to 1983. Dr. Yates returned to Tech. Let's try that again. Dr. Yates returned to Tech in July 1987 as an associate professor in the Department of Aerospace and Ocean Engineering. think I can do this last two, and then I need more water. New River Valley Black History 1978. The Virginia Tech Black Student Alliance was established. And finally, the New River Valley Black History 1992. Ujima Dance Theater was founded in January by Carol Ann Crawford, Carol Crawford Smith, then coordinator of the Black Cultural Center at Virginia Tech and a former dancer with the Dance Theater of Harlem. So, some of those facts would be found on our Black History timeline for Virginia Tech Black History. Some of them would not, and I think they're all quite interesting. And I do love that we have those little table cards in this collection that give kind of that breakdown of history that was seen as important by the organizations, like by the Black Graduate Student Organization. Those were things that they chose to highlight during the 11th annual Ebony Affair. So to me, that means that those are very important events to highlight because the community themselves chose to highlight those events. I want to pull out some photographs and actually take a look at some of the photographs that were in this collection because there are quite a few. So I think I want to pull out box 6 first. There are many, many, many photographs, and we did our best trying to figure out organization on them, but this is how they're in here. They're in these little boxes. They have little cards separating them that we call folders, but they're just little dividers. And it's like a little, almost like a drawer full of photographs, which was the best solution that I could come up with at the time about how to deal with this many photographs and trying to give them some organization without spending tons of money, because we are not rich. We do have a CD here labeled Black Organizations Council Pictures, which I would have to look, but I'm almost certain we've already pulled the photographs off of this disc, and they are stored in the cloud on our backed up servers. Let's see, we have the African Student Association photos, Alpha Phi Alpha photos, BGSO photos. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, this one's interesting because, as I said, this is the, pardon me, this is the Black Organizations Council records. The photos that I just pulled out, Box 6, Folder 11. Asian American Student Union Culture Night, Our Rising Tradition photographs. So even though this is the Black Organizations Council records, they had photographs from the Asian American Student Union event, their culture night called Our Rising Tradition. In here I've got negatives, and then we've got some photographs here. Speaker on the stage at this is one of the theaters in the student union, the Squire Student Center. These are not the clearest photos. I'm gonna go to the ones that are actually mounted that had been displayed for this. So here, I want to see if I can get the light closer. So I'm gonna adjust the camera. Learning new things about how to use this camera. That's as far out as it will go at that level. How's that? You can kind of see the whole photograph. So here's a cloth banner that they used paint on, it appears, for the signage for the event. Asian American Student Union proudly presents our rising tradition: comedy, free food, dances, fashion show, free admission, November 1st, 1997, Commonwealth Ballroom, Squires. Doors open at 5:30. Thank you, Hannah. Yeah, I was just trying to get it so it was a little bit closer to it, because before the camera was a little bit high. And so these photographs are all from this event. I don't know specifically who all of these people are. Most of the photographs don't have any sort of labels on them or anything. So I just know that they are from that event. But we can see, I wonder, I know they had a fashion show as part of the event. I don't know if those were part of the fashion show or if those are just speakers that were coming out onto the stage to give awards or other things like that. They still do this cultural night. I believe I went to the last one that they held in person, which would have been February of last year. This is one of the cultural, so they include performances and fashion show and other things like that. So they're dressed in some traditional costume, clothing that would be like traditional clothing of certain cultures that are represented by the Asian American Student Union. So the Asian American Student Union is actually the equivalent of the Black Student Organizations or Black Organizations Council. Asian American Student Union would be that overseeing body for all of the Asian and Asian American student organizations. But these are from the Black Organizations Council records because they had photographs of this material from the Asian American Student Union, and this is actually some of the only material in our archives about Asian students, Asian American students, and their organizations here at campus. So these are from performances that the students put together themselves for this culture show. We actually, in the collection, in the Black Organizations Council collection, there are 2, possibly 3, I don't remember for sure. I know there are at least 2 VHS tapes of some of these culture shows from the Asian American Student Union. And I would very much love to get them digitized and available on our website at some point. I would probably prioritize those tapes from this collection over some of the other tapes, just simply because we lack so much with regard to this community specifically, the Asian American DESI students on campus, that if I was looking at the 52 VHS tapes that are part of this collection and trying to decide which ones to feature or to prioritize for digitizing, I would probably go for those first. Let's see what other ones in here might be particularly interesting. I want to pull out some other photographs as well. There's one. And you'll note that I am now wearing gloves because these are photographs, and the photograph paper, the oils in your skin can discolor and damage them over time. So even though they're developed photographs, as they get older, and if you end up with the oils from your skin on them, it can just deteriorate them. So photographs like this are one of the things that we wear the gloves for. There's another photograph of the, I'm guessing it was a Polynesian dance performance. I'm not certain, but just based on the costuming, that would be my guess. Whereas this looks more like a hip-hop performance or a rap performance of some sort. I am uncertain because I have not, I think we may actually have a video of this particular culture show, but I've not watched it. Also, doing the photographs gives my voice a little bit of a rest. I don't have quite as many words to read. So I get to just chat. Oh dear. I don't know what happened with the video there for a second, but it came back. All right, let's see what else we have. Put that folder back. That was folder 11. The next folder is another Asian American Student Union culture show, but we just looked at one. There's quite a few photographs in here of Asian American Student Union shows. Ooh, how about we do some Black History photographs? Black History Month photographs from, I believe these are end of the 90s and the 2000s. So this, we have one photograph from Black History Month 1997. It's a cake. That's the only one in there that's labeled 1997. It looks like a good cake. There's all it says on the back is Black History Month, PRM, which I'm guessing was short for program, but I don't know for sure. 1999, we have significantly more. Although not as much as some of the others. So 1999, just some photographs here of people attending the Black History Month events on campus. You can get a little bit of glare on these photographs, but there's no writing on the back. If there is, I will definitely let you know. This appears to be in the Squires Student Center in the Black Cultural Center. This is a Black History Month event from 1999 here at Virginia Tech. So that would have been their featured speaker, who looks familiar, but I don't know who she is off the top of my head. But again, this was 1999, Black History Month. These photos are the inside of the Black Cultural Center in the Squires Student Center. The poster in the back there says Campus Climate as the title for the poster. And The inside of the Black Cultural Center looks very similar today. They don't have the flags up on the ceiling, but as far as like, if you attend events there, the seats are set up very similarly. The interior has not changed that much. This is in an auditorium in the Squires Student Center. It appears that they've got a speaker. And the seats are really full. That's quite a lot of people for an event in that space. There's that speaker again, who people were lined up to see. I just don't know her name off the top of my head. And it wasn't on the back of any of the photographs or in any of the information. So if anybody does know who they were, I would appreciate it. That's in that same auditorium. Lots of people. I've never seen that auditorium that full. Some students looking snazzy for the events. I wish I could get rid of the glare on the photo. Let's see, maybe if I... Nope. That did not help with the glare. My document camera. It's not the highest quality camera. It's meant for showing off mostly text documents, so for photographs it's not as good. They're posing for a photo outside the Black Cultural Center. Let's see. The next one is 2000? Yeah. Oh, we have lots from 2000. Let's do Lucinda Roy book signing. So they had a photograph here, has the date on the bottom, February 1st, 2000. Lucinda Roy book signing. So there she is giving a talk. Actually, does everybody know who Lucinda Roy is? Because I can... Lucinda Roy is an American-based British novelist, educator, and poet. Born in Battersea, South London, England, to Jamaican writer and artist Namba Roy and Yvonne Roy, née Shelley, an English actor and teacher. Lucinda Roy grew up in England and received her Bachelor of Arts in English from King's College London before moving to the United States, where she earned a Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing at the University of Arkansas. So we'll get to this in one second, but works Wailing the Dead to Sleep, The Hummingbirds, Lady Moses, The Hotel Alleluia, No Right to Remain Silent, The Tragedy at Virginia Tech. So if you're not familiar, in April of 2007, there was a shooting here at Virginia Tech. On the Lucinda Roy Wikipedia page, there's actually a section labeled Virginia Tech Shooting. In April 2007, after the shootings, it was revealed that 2 years earlier, Roy had noted violent tendencies in the shooter. She warned campus authorities about him at that time, but as he had not made any specific threats, authorities couldn't take any action. She subsequently wrote a book about the tragedy and appeared on CBS News with Katie Couric to mark the second anniversary of the shootings. So, but that was all years after this. So this, was even before she had made the report. This is 2000. That would have been 2005. The shootings were in 2007. Here she is. It appears that she's doing book signings for the Hotel Alleluia. It looks to me like the book signing is actually happening in the bookstore. Pictures of the audience. So pretty typical when you have an author come to have them read a portion of their book. So at the lectern there with their book open. And this would have been like the kickoff to Black History Month in 2000. I don't know her name. I assume one of the organizers of the event, giving an introduction. The joy on her face when she's got one of her readers there to get an autograph. It's just, her face is just lit up with joy. It's nice. Let's see, costume ball. So again, this was actually on the same day, February 1st, 2000, as part of their Black History Month events. This one, yeah, I don't know any more than costume ball. It was labeled costume ball when they, in the photographs we got from the Black Organizations Council. I really wish this camera did a better job because it's very dark. It's a glorious costume. Focus. There, that's better. I just need to bring it really close there. All sorts of purple feathers with like purple silk train. It's a pretty costume there. The costume ball included dancing. It seems like they may have had a 1920s theme for the costume ball that year, just based on the costumes that they've chosen. That one has a very interesting costume. If you can't see on this guy's costume here, he just has a name tag that just says spy, which is pretty cute. They continue, a lot of like flapper costumes and people hanging out, having a good time at a costume ball on February 1st for part of the kickoff to Black History Month in 2000. I do want to move along to some of the other Black History Month photos here because like this one. These are dated February 3rd, 2000. These are from U.S. Representative Maxine Waters' visit. A spy piece from Stratego. Yes, indeed, Key Squared. That is the costume, and I did not place it, but that is exactly, the hat shape was exactly right for that. So one of multiple speakers that they had that year, this is U.S. Representative Maxine Waters, who I believe is still a representative today. We'll just pull her up in good old Wikipedia, where you get a nice, good little primer on famous people. Maxine Waters is an American politician serving as the United States Representative for California's 43rd Congressional District. She's been serving in that position since 1991. She is the second most senior member of the California Congressional Delegation after Nancy Pelosi, and currently is the chairwoman of the House Financial Services Committee. So she came to campus in 2000 as a speaker for part of their Black History Month events. And Key Squared, yeah, it is lovely to have you stop by. And I've mentioned multiple times, I love anybody who's willing to spend a little bit of time, whether you're just listening or stopping by and looking at the documents or other things that I share. Whether you're chatting or not, we appreciate everybody who comes by, and this is a lot of fun for me. I enjoy sharing this material. A lot of the time I'm seeing it for the first time. Today I happen to be a little more familiar with the material, but it's just as much fun for me to be able to go in and pull things at random and just look at them and see what I can find. And so that's kind of where the title Archival Adventures came from. It's an adventure for me, and hopefully it's an adventure for you to be able to just come in and get a glimpse into what is in our archives. You're editing metadata while you watch. Nice to have company, even if you can't chat much. Yeah, I appreciate anybody who is chatting, but I appreciate everybody who's lurking as well. It is nice to have you here. So this was at the Donaldson Brown Hotel and Conference Center here at Tech. Some nice photographs of Representative Waters. Who I'm sure is very interested in what's going on in DC today. I have had really good luck with this stream. I chose to put it on Wednesdays because I knew that Librarian Liz was streaming on Wednesday afternoons and had thought, oh, it'd be great to be able to support her a little bit by ending this stream and raiding her channel. And then when I started, she basically wasn't doing the Wednesday afternoons very consistently anymore, so I may have been able to raid her once from this show, but I picked Wednesdays for that reason. And then my very first stream events happened in DC that were much more interesting than my stream, and that kept happening. And so Wednesdays, there seems to be a lot of history that happens on Wednesdays this year. And also for reasons of my schedule, I'm looking into whether I might move the stream to Thursdays. We'll see. Nothing is decided at this time, and right now the stream is still on Wednesdays. But I will just mention that there is a possibility that we might move it to a different day that works just a little bit better for me. There's some really good photographs in here of Maxine Waters. I don't know who was taking pictures, but they got some really good shots. This one, the man with her is Steve Cochran. I only know that because he's wearing a name tag. I don't know who he is. But again, they appear to be in the Black Cultural Center here at Virginia Tech. Just based on what I can see of the background in these photos, it seems like this is probably a reception following her talk. And it does, I don't know, I have to keep looking at the backgrounds and see if I can tell. I do think it's either the Multicultural Center or the Black Cultural Center, I believe, but I'm not 100% certain. Some of these photos that are in here are not from this event. There were a lot of photographs and they were very messy, so my student worker did a spectacular job trying to sort them out and make sure that things were in the right places, but there are some photos in here of a step show that got mixed in with the Maxine Waters visit and do not belong. So I will have to fix that. Oh, here's a good one. There's still no information about it, but Maxine Waters in the center there, and I want to say these are either, I've seen her in some of the other photos. I think they're employees of the Multicultural Center or the Black Cultural Center. So student employees or the full-time staff for those locations. I would have to dig in a little bit to be absolutely certain of that, but that is what I suspect, is that they are, they were probably involved in organizing the events for Black History Month that year, and so had the opportunity to have their photo taken with Maxine Waters. Yeah, there are quite a few photos here from that event. There are some other ones here as well. I love that there's such a large section of like Black History Month events in here. I had a good time when I was organizing them, just being like, wow, look at these. I wish I had been able to attend that event. There's one here, I don't know this person. I don't know who they are. They are labeled Black History Month, and it was Kip Fullbeck. So there is this person named Kip Fullbeck, and there was an event February 23rd, 2000, as part of Black History Month. So now I'm going to Google this person or Wikipedia this person and see if I can figure out who they are. All right, there is a Wikipedia entry. So Lawrence Keith Kip Fullbeck is an American artist, spoken word performer, filmmaker, and author. Fullbeck's work explores identity politics. His mixed race ethnic background in English, Welsh, Irish, and Cantonese is English, Welsh, Irish, and Cantonese. He's best known for his work addressing Hapa and multiracial identity, and as the creator of the Hapa Project. Fullbeck attended UCLA. He was a 4-year NCAA All-American swimmer, 1988 Athlete of the Year. Huh. He's directed films. Interesting. I was not familiar with this person. But apparently he was a big enough deal in 2000 that they brought him in for part of Black History Month. And there's some photographs here of him. It said he was a spoken word artist, so I imagine doing some sorts of poetry type things. Ooh, that's a blurry picture. Yeah, very blurry pictures in here, some of them. They're action shots. Same location as where the Maxine Waters talk happened. This photo is from the Black Cultural Center. Looks like they had a reception, maybe a daytime event. On stage, oh, look at the fashion, 2000. I'm absolutely certain that that was stylish in 2000, but that suit is very outdated by today's standards. Yeah. This was, for me, I remember looking him up when I was processing, because I was like trying to make sure that I had read the writing correctly and trying to figure out who this speaker's name was so that I could get it correct on the label for the card. And so I looked him up then and had forgotten who he was by now, just because I hadn't needed to remember it. But yeah. Oh, here's Black History Month. I don't think these were 2000. I think this is another year. Probably the keynote speaker. Do you all know who that is? You may recognize him and not know his name. Anybody have an idea? Oh, yeah, February of 2001. This is Judge Joe Brown. I will hop into Wikipedia again because they give much better short bios of famous people than I could possibly do off the top of my head. But Judge Joe Brown is an American arbitration-based reality court show. Oh, this is talking about the person. Or about the show, not the person. But so we'll go to the person. Joseph Blakeney Brown Jr., known as Judge Joe Brown, is an American lawyer and television personality, former Shelby County, Tennessee criminal court judge, and former arbiter of the arbitration-based reality court show Judge Joe Brown. So, famous because of his television show, but an actual former judge from Tennessee. And they brought him here in February of 2001 as a speaker for Black History Month. I would have to dig through the minutes and things like that, see if there are corresponding dates, and, to know whether they had specifics of like information about why they decided these people were the ones that they wanted to invite. I don't know if that information is in here, and it would take more time than we have left to do that kind of digging. But even with just the photographs, we know who they invited. So clearly in 2000, he was respected by the Black community here at Virginia Tech. And so they wanted to bring him as a speaker. Let's see what else we have here. Okay. So just a warning. I know we came across it kind of unexpectedly with the shootings. I will just warn, the next one is going back to 2001 in the fall. Nothing specifically, but it will be in proximity to the date that the attacks in New York and Pennsylvania and DC happened. So do just want to give a heads up on that. These photographs are from an event that happened September 11th, 2000. Oh, sorry, those are September 11th, 2002. I want the September 12th, 2001. Yes, this is what I want. September 12th, 2001. An event called the Celebration of Diversity was held here at Virginia Tech. There is no way that this event happened without planning. This had to have been a scheduled event. And the fact that they went forward on that day and continued and still held this celebration of diversity. As you saw, the photos I pulled out a second ago were a year later on September 11, 2002. That was another, that was the celebration of diversity again. There are a lot of photographs from this event. And I love that the students put this together and still went ahead with the event and celebrated diversity following what had happened. They've got their performances. It seems very similar to like the photos we were looking at before from the Asian American Student Union and their culture show, where you've got students doing performances, dances. There was the step dance photographs at one point in here. These appear to be like the culture show dances from the Asian American Student Union groups happening. And the students are on it. Like everybody, I remember myself back then, I was shell-shocked. They're on stage, they are performing, they've got it. And I just love that they went ahead with this and that this evidence of that resiliency and that hope exists. I don't know what they're singing, but they're all together and they're singing. So like I said, there are a lot of photographs in this collection. Society of... This one actually has writing on the back. The Society of Indian Americans. But yeah, this collection has a ton of photographs. There is almost no chance that we will ever manage to digitize them all. Most of them probably needed some semblance of normalcy, like a lot of the country did at that time. Yes, absolutely. I still think it was brave to continue and go forward with this event, because yeah, I think if I look in here, I think this event was one that they were doing anyway and just went forward with. These photos are stuck together here. Getting some repeat photographs now. Somebody got doubles, duplicates, when they went to the store and had them developed. Some audience photographs. Yeah, there's no way we're going to get to all of the photographs in here. There's no way we'll get to all of the documents in here. I don't mind that because it means I can come back to this collection again in the future and we can look at more stuff. We didn't really get to the donning of the kente at all, which is it's basically the Black student graduation ceremony here. So each of the different cultural centers has their own kind of graduation programs that they do. There's the donning of the kente, there's, I'm not going to remember them off the top of my head, but they all have them. I don't remember what they're all called. Hillel Center has one, the Lavender graduation ceremony for the LGBTQ plus students. And so for a lot of students on campus, they'll find more community with a certain identity group. And those are the people they want to celebrate their graduation with, and that's a more meaningful graduation ceremony than, say, their college graduation ceremony or the overall university graduation ceremony. And so for the Black students here on campus, that is the donning of the kente. And there are a number of photographs here for that, as well as some planning documents and things like that. So I will probably look at those in a future stream when I revisit this collection. Next week, my plan is to have a collection in mind. My brain is forgetting the name. Giovanni. I remembered part of the name. Next week. Next week we will be visiting the Gary and Giovanni culinary papers. Thank you, Kira. I have not looked at these at all. I do know that Gary and Giovanni was a chef and caterer and cooking teacher active in Blacksburg, Virginia. I do know that Gary Ann Giovanni was the sister of poet Nikki Giovanni, who is a faculty member here at Virginia Tech. Other than that, I know nothing about what's in this collection, and I will discover it with you next week on episode 6 of Archival Adventures. We are going to go ahead and close out the stream now. I'm going to see who's available to raid. We're going to try to raid the North Carolina State University Libraries. They are currently doing an art stream. And so I'm going to send you all over there. Say hi when you get there, and thank you all for coming for another episode of Archival Adventures. I hope to see you again in the future, and thanks.